Next up is the Adeptus Mechanicus versus Necrons, two highly advanced factions with radically different battlefield philosophies.
This matchup leads heavily into map control and technology. The Adeptus Mechanicus excel at fortifying positions, building powerful bases, and churning out armored firepower, while the Necrons are relentless, durable, and capable of turning slow pressure into overwhelming force. Okay, welcome back to a new multiplayer match of Dawn of War 4. This time I'm playing the AdMech.
And I am playing the Necrons.
And AdMech, very different from Space Marines that I played before. Have a lot more units, much quicker. So, you know, I can expand a little bit more aggressive. And also what I want to do is, with the Datasmith, these guys, that are the builder units basically, I want to build up a new sphere network. So basically, whenever I build a building, I try to make sure that the next building is, you know, within the network, because what it does is it makes the network stronger, and a stronger network means, you know, buildings produce for cheaper, or, you know, turrets fight harder, you know, stuff like that. And so, yeah, one of the big things I want to do is build this new sphere network.
Indeed, indeed. And as for the Necrons, my primary objective, what I want to do is I want to spread the power matrix, which is this funky looking effect that you can see on the terrain here. It is spread, as you can see, by every or almost every Necron structure. So Necrons don't need power or requisition or all those other things that the vermin species require in order to host their armies. We have only one resource, and it's called Dominion, which is earned by spreading this power matrix. The further out we spread it, the more we earn of it. The power matrix also grants additional bonuses to our units on it. So they gain improved HP generation, they regain members faster. All Necrons basically automatically heal slowly over time. And we can speed that up as long as they are on the matrix. So that gives us a big advantage in combat. So the further we can spread out, we do hit a maximum at some point for our Dominion. But with this, it can still benefit us greatly throughout a match.
Right, and I assume these 3 points here will probably be very contested. So what I'm trying to do now is basically spread the network to the points, because this helps me in two different ways. First of all, my network grows, which is good, but also then when I build turrets there, all the turrets become much more powerful.
Indeed, I already saw that you are trying to take this point on, so I've sent some scarabs out to fight your rangers.
Yeah, Scarabs very annoying. They are pretty fast, can fly, and not super easy to kill, and so they are the best like harassment unit in the game, I would say. And of course, as always, you know, he managed to get the Necrons into melee combat with my range units, and my rangers are much stronger than Scarabs in range, of course, but if he managed to basically bind me into melee, you know, then I struggle because I can't use my best weapons.
One thing you may have noticed is that the Necron units are generally quite powerful, but not particularly mobile. And the main way that they get around this is through teleportation or translocation technology. The main way that they do that is through the use of canoptic spiders that they can build through the canoptic foundry, which creates tomb pylons. These can be placed anywhere on the map, and as soon as they are placed, you can put units in the reserve, placing them into the tomb citadel, and then deploy them from that reserve to any tomb pylon on the map.
Right, and as you can see here, my new sphere network is growing and growing, unlocking all sorts of research, because, you know, AdMech have a lot of stuff they can optimize and unlock, you know, and this means that all my Skirmishes units, for example, now have better weapons, and they can get more models into the unit and stuff like that. So, you know, this is important to keep in mind, basically, to make sure all your units have the best stuff available.
Okay, so I've managed to teleport a whole bunch of warriors relatively close to the front line, so we're going to make use of that as soon as we've got this Convergence of Dominion set up, essentially, which is a relatively cheap structure that allows us to quickly spread the power matrix. It doesn't have a lot of other functionality, but that is its core functionality, and that will help us with this coming fight, as you can see here.
Right, and I let my commander, SecX23, I ordered him to lead these units, and then I can give him a couple of nice upgrades that basically make him and the unit a lot stronger.
Alright, so I anticipate that this fight is going to be a little bit tougher, so I'm going to go ahead and build some resurrection galleries in order to support any fallen units. When you lose units, you can have those be selected within a resurrection gallery, which restores that unit over time when it falls in battle. Completely for free. So building plenty of resurrection galleries will really help to bolster your forces if you're losing a battle. Losing more of the selected units while one is already being resurrected speeds up that resurrection, so that really gives you that effect of a non-stop oncoming tidal wave of whatever units you want to choose to resurrect. But you have to choose wisely, you can only pick one at a time. So there we go, and we've got one right here, right now. So we're going to go ahead and set this other resurrection gallery for warriors as well, and we're going to start churning these out.
My user network is now at level 8, which is already really good, which means that I can now produce units a lot cheaper, and also turrets and so on are more powerful. So I can now really build a lot of units for relatively little resources.
Okay, and while you're putting that all together and you're fighting, I'm just going to build more resurrection galleries. Try and keep those warriors coming out.
I put all my units on auto-reinforce, which means that all the units are being, healed automatically, but it's also, a really big drain on my resources.
And we're gonna go ahead and do something a little bit sneaky, and hopefully we can catch Yun off guard if we do so.
It's actually not easy for him to do something sneaky and surprising, because what you can see here, these greenish blobs, they are the auger vision. So this is basically a way for AdMech players to see into the fog of war. It's a kind of heat map, and you can see where enemy units are on the mini-map and also in-game. And this makes it very hard to surprise attack AdMech units, because you always get this little warning where the enemy might be.
That's true, but with this amount of warriors here that I've got going on, I don't think I need too much surprise. There we go. Okay, now a real fight's breaking out. We're throwing out the stratagems here. Alright, and I've thrown a gravity pulse on you to hopefully soften up your army here. It's done quite a lot of damage to my warriors, but fortunately, they are already well on their way to return. So we're actually going to go ahead and put another one down here. So yes, Augur Vision is indeed, for the Adeptus Mechanicus, is very effective for predicting troop movement. But with the ability to teleport, it might give me the upper hand I need, because there is, I believe, like a very slight delay to Augur Vision, like when it gets updated. And so if you start seeing a big blotch of red coming around the corner, then it might already be too late for you.
Yeah, that's true.
There we go. In the meantime, while we're dealing with this encounter here, we're going to just further expand the power matrix, build a couple more sentry pylons. Well, now I think I may have you pinned here. Now we're coming from both ends. We're going to see how quickly that's going to go down. There we go. Okay, we're going to throw down a solar pulse stratagem. That is Omnox's unique stratagem here, which should reduce the defenses of all enemy units on the field, and will also negate any cover. Of course, Necrons, don't require cover. Why? If you have no fear of death, then why should you ever use something like that? We're just going to march forward, and we're going to try and push forward as far as we can. We're going to see how long, whether Yun can deal with that or not. Let's find out.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely now something I want to hold. So I put some auto reinforcements in here, just to make sure I don't lose the most important units.
I'm going to very gently start teching up here and trying to get some more effective units, because I'm starting to see here that you can now out-damage and out-fell my warriors faster than I can regenerate them. So that means I'm going to have to move on to some slightly more effective tactics from here on out.
I think I retreat. Don't want to lose my commander. This is a lot of Necrons.
Yeah. I've this is a pretty strong tactic that I've found that Necrons can work with. But we'll see if it's enough to repel your attacks here. Ooh, there we go. Okay, we're gonna throw a gravity pulse stratagem over here, soften up your forces.
Let's get out of the way. I have some resource problems here because, as you can see, I have relatively high upkeep because my army is so big, and also when you control a lot of points, then each additional points you control gives you a little bit less resources. And both of that combined, oh, and I forgot to build generators here. All of that combined meant I did not have as much resources as I wanted to have. But now I have my stratagem back, so that is helpful. And also, I mean, his warriors are pretty good against a lot of things, but not against tanks, right? So these guys can hopefully keep them away for a while.
Looks like I was able to repel the brunt of your force, but looks like it's going to take a little bit more. So I'm going to send in some wraiths here, using hyper phasing to get through obstacles and the like, and make sure that I don't get bogged down by melee, so I can just hit your units straight on.
Yeah, my production is running well. Everything is relatively cheap now that my user network is big enough. But actually, let me make it even bigger, because even bigger means even cheaper units.
There we go. Okay, I've got one of the Necron endgame units out, which is the Monolith. So we're gonna teleport this bad boy straight over here to come and deal with your forces. And we're gonna start deploying units from it, from reserve, same as we do with the tomb pylons. There we go. And then we're just gonna move forward until we hit your headquarters. Get our Lich Guards out. Oh my goodness. They were just taken out by that Scorpius Disintegrator. We're gonna have to take care of that. There we go. Ooh, that was a little bit too close. Probably shouldn't have done that. That's a mistake on my part. Uh-oh, you got quite a few of these. Oh no!
Yeah, that's the nice thing with the AdMech. The AdMech really strong production capabilities. And so, especially when you come close to my base, you know, then you better bring the goods.
Okay, well, I guess if you come for the king, you best not miss. So I'm gonna give that another shot, but not to worry. In the meantime, while you've been dealing with that, I've been restoring my legion of warriors.
Yeah, but now actually I come into your territory and looking for convergence of Dominion. So if I destroy enough of those, he will have resource problems on his own.
That's very true. The Dominion the domain that a Necron can set up can be very, very strong, but it is relatively fragile internally. Like, if you don't have enough defenses from the center on, it can be quite vulnerable.
Yeah, also let's see what we can deploy here. Maybe some sort of surprise.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Ah, no. This is going to be a problem.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be fun. Oh, and all your nice resurrection galleries. Because, obviously, the resurrection galleries here, each one resurrects one type of enemy, and so if I destroy all three of them, then three types of enemies won't come back anymore, which makes it a lot easier for me.
Okay, time to take care of this. We're gonna have to get rid of that knight. Fortunately, I've already got another monolith out. We're just gonna teleport it as fast as we can. This is not looking great for me, but I still have a few cards up my sleeve, and we almost have that knight down.
Yeah?
What I'll do is I'll see if I can... There we go. Get a few Canoptic Doomstalkers out to try and tackle it. Long range armor piercing should do the trick.
Oh no, my knight! If only I had another one.
Ah, no, not for real? We're going to go ahead and get a whole bunch generated. Oh, it's just a little too late for teleporting that out. Ah, well, I unfortunately seem to have been hoisted by my own petard, having not enough defense here. I very aggressively spread the power matrix, but I didn't have any other internal defenses here, so... Oh, this is going to be a problem. I'll just put one down now.
Yeah, Necrons actually have pretty good turrets, and the smaller ones, they can actually teleport, which makes them especially nasty, because basically you can, you know, push them wherever you want them to go with your front, you know, so that's... Oh, there it is.
Oh.
This is what I was looking for.
Yeah, now I'm in danger. Well, it was a significant back and forth, Hyun, but it looks like this is going to be a pretty decisive victory for you. Well played.
Thank you. As it should be, the AdMech won. See you later.